The deadliest viruses on Earth explained. Viruses are among the deadliest and most terrifying biological entities on Earth. Unlike bacteria or parasites, viruses are not technically alive in the traditional sense. They survive by invading living cells and hijacking them in order to reproduce. Some viruses cause only mild symptoms. Others have killed millions of people throughout human history. Today, we're exploring some of the deadliest viruses ever discovered and why they are so dangerous to human civilization. One of the most feared viruses in history is rabies. Rabies attacks the nervous system and spreads through infected saliva, usually from animal bites. Once symptoms begin, rabies is almost always fatal. Victims may experience confusion, aggression, paralysis, hallucinations, and extreme fear of water. The terrifying nature of rabies has inspired fear for centuries because of how it affects human behavior and the brain. Another extremely deadly virus is Ebola. Ebola causes severe internal bleeding, organ failure, fever, and massive immune system disruption. Some outbreaks have had extremely high fatality rates. The virus spreads through direct contact with infected bodily fluids. Outbreaks can become especially dangerous in areas with limited medical infrastructure. Another terrifying virus is Marburg virus. Marburg is closely related to Ebola and causes severe hemorrhagic fever. Symptoms may include internal bleeding, organ failure, shock, and extreme immune system damage. Some outbreaks have had very high fatality rates. Because the virus spreads through bodily fluids and causes severe symptoms rapidly, health officials treat outbreaks extremely seriously. Another disturbing virus is Nipah virus. Nipah can spread from animals to humans and has caused deadly outbreaks in several countries. The virus attacks both the respiratory system and the brain. Scientists are especially concerned about viruses like Nipah because zoonotic diseases continue emerging from animal populations around the world. Another infamous virus is smallpox. Before its eradication, smallpox killed hundreds of millions of people throughout human history. The disease caused fever, severe skin lesions, blindness, and permanent scarring. Smallpox became one of humanity's greatest medical victories after global vaccination efforts successfully eliminated the virus from natural circulation. Another terrifying virus is HIV. HIV attacks the immune system itself, making the body increasingly vulnerable to infections and disease over time. Although treatments have improved dramatically, HIV has caused one of the deadliest global pandemics in modern history. Another major threat involves influenza pandemics. Some flu strains have caused catastrophic outbreaks throughout history. The 1918 Spanish flu pandemic infected massive portions of the global population and killed millions of people worldwide. Scientists constantly monitor new flu strains because viruses mutate rapidly over time. Another disturbing reality is zoonotic transmission. Many dangerous viruses originate in animals before eventually spreading into humans. Bats, rodents, birds, and other animals can carry viruses capable of crossing species barriers under certain conditions. Modern global travel allows outbreaks to spread faster than ever before. Another terrifying characteristic of viruses is mutation. Viruses constantly evolve. Small genetic changes can sometimes make viruses more contagious, harder to detect, or more resistant to treatments. This makes disease prevention and vaccine development extremely challenging. Another major concern is how vulnerable modern civilization remains to biological threats. Global cities, international travel, dense populations, and interconnected economies all allow diseases to spread rapidly. Even advanced healthcare systems can become overwhelmed during large outbreaks. Another frightening reality is how biological threats could evolve in the future. Scientists worry that climate change, deforestation, urban expansion, and global travel may increase opportunities for viruses to spread between species and across continents. The modern world is more connected than ever before. That connectivity brings enormous advantages, but it also creates vulnerabilities that diseases can exploit extremely quickly. Perhaps the most unsettling part of viruses is how invisible they are. Human beings cannot see them, yet microscopic particles smaller than cells have repeatedly shaped the course of human history. The truth is that viruses remain one of the greatest biological threats humanity has ever faced. And despite enormous scientific progress, many future outbreaks may still be impossible to fully predict. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more difficult topics simply explained, and comment which virus you think is the most terrifying.